Peace. Peace. I pray that everyone is well. Everyone is striving to do and be better. I pray that even though we got up today and might have the weight of the world on our shoulders, we keep in mind that we got up today. It's not to diminish what we may be going through as people and individuals, but that's a blessing, man, that many people didn't get the honor of having today, So we woke up, we're breathing, we have our faculties. Let us be grateful for that. The older people used to say, count your blessings. And sometimes we actually have to do that. We have to, look at our fingers and start ticking them off. Hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling, thinking, these are blessings. And so, I want to talk about the gangs and just the youth. A lot of people look at the gangs and they don't understand, because that is something that's a great reality today. When we were coming up, most of us, there were gangs in a lot of areas, I believe, Chicago, California, and many other areas that had gangs. Some of us who are from, Baltimore, DC, Virginia, certain spots in Virginia, New York, usually the gangs with the neighborhoods, certain streets that had, a large amount of people that hung out. And so that was the crew. If you look the definition of gang up, that's what it was. You calling your neighborhood out, you fighting people, you fighting other neighborhoods, you selling drugs, you defend one another. That's still a gang. We had the gang mentality, the group mentality, the hyena mentality. And so the wolf mentality, So a lot of people sit back and will say, these gangs are wild, these gangs are this, these gangs are that. And yes, when you're young, you're foolish, you have very little to no hope. You're just that. You're just that. You don't have a father in the house. And more often than not, man, young guys, for 2-3 generations didn't have fathers in the house. Father might have visited the mother, but fathers have been in prison. Fathers wouldn't come because they didn't want to deal with the mother. Uncles were in prison. They might have came around every now and again. And when they came around, it was the street side of them that we saw. It was what they were into, who they were. They were known on the street. And so we wanted that. We wanted the people that when you walk down the street or drive down the street, people give you that head nod, that respect, that dap, that handshake. You didn't get that going to a job every day, not in that inner city, working, you got that being a fool on the street. And so the youngest grew up wanting to be, a fool as well. And so I sit back and I turn my nose up sometimes like, look at these youngest, man, they wilding out here, man. They shooting and babies are being hit, and nowadays, 2021, the guys out here, man, they killing kids. They're shooting in houses and killing kids. We were taught, even in our ignorance, you don't do stuff like that, beating women up. Guys, and you had men that put their hands on women and they were wrong. They were wrong. But today, these guys are beating girls down like they're guys, man. Beating them down. Like I say, man, shooting. They just had a shooting in DC where the guy killed the girl and the child because she don't want to be with you no more. What type of weak mentality is being produced in the hearts and minds of the people out here, man? And it's rough because, like I said, I was a fool. And so the people that were hurt by me, victimized by me, then they look at me, the old me, and say the same thing. And I understand it. So I'm not really sitting there trying to be a judge, but I'm judging because I can judge me. I was a fool. I was ignorant. I sat down. I was forced to sit down and do the time. And only God set me free. God set me free, man. You know what I mean? Because I deserve what I got and more likely, so I'm grateful and I'm humble, but I'm honest. And we're out here, man, we're foolish. And so you have that mentality out here. It is that I need someone that I can relate to. So the youngest come out the house, because if you sit in the house, then you're often joked because you're in the house. You're a stranger to the ones outside grouped up. So they'll pick with you and you have to defend yourself against that more often than not. And then the ones out there, it's the life that comes with that, because usually someone's going to say, man, let's get this money. And either they're going to start robbing, they're going to start stealing, they're going to start doing things, and that usually escalates, right? So the gangs that we see, they're out here, but they're a product of. And this is the truth. This is the truth. They're a product of most, not everybody, but they're a product of not having strong male figures in their immediate home or their immediate vicinity. That is the truth. You know, these youngers don't know how to change a tire on a car. I was going to the gas station the other day. I get out, I'm pumping my gas. A lady pull up. She gets out. She's pumping her gas, but the windows are down. I look and there's a guy in the car on his phone. How are you letting this woman pump gas and it's 42 degrees outside, 4:30 in the morning? I didn't understand that at all. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my father even told me, even though he was divorced from my mom and my stepmom, my father told you better help him with them groceries. You better clean this house. If he came over and saw a dirty house or a dish in the sink, he'll look at us like, man, why is this dish in here? Get this sink. You know, get this dish, because he's going to say that your mother pays for bills, pays for food, clothes on your back, you know, and this is a form of gratitude. See, a lot of people think gratitude is just saying thank you. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you is okay, but thank you in and of itself is not enough. You know, usually gratitude is something shown. You don't just say thank you to a person and you keep it moving. Someone gives you a gift, you say thank you because it's from the heart. You appreciate it, but then what do? You think of a way maybe to give them a gift later or to show them your gratitude by taking care of the gift. This is an action. Same thing with love. You can say, I love you. But people say, I love you, and then they'll turn around and hit you in the face or slap you or disrespect you, treat you like you're nothing, you know, ignore you, use you, take advantage of you. This is what people say or do after they say they love you. So this is not love. It may be convenience. It may be liking. It may be possession, but it's not love. And so because we don't have a thorough understanding of what love is, because we didn't see a thorough representation of love, this is what we show as love. And so we continue to do this. And so the youngers out here, they wild, true, but they need men to stand up. Women have stood up for a long time. Women have been in the houses taking care of the kids. Women have been in the houses wiping their noses, changing the diapers, working, even if those mothers have been on welfare, okay? They're the ones that still provided the food, clothing, and the shelter. They're the ones that still make sure you get up. They're the ones that make sure you go to school. They're the ones that make sure you have food in the refrigerator and a warm environment to lay your head in, you know? So, you know, men have to stand up. And I'm guilty of not being, you know, standing up out here. I stood up inside a prison. I strove to be a good man. I have many people that can attest to that, but I wasn't out here, but I wasn't wasting time. And so many people did benefit from me standing up, period, wherever I was, you know. And so out here, there are many good men, many strong men, many great men, but we have to produce many, 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 many more men. We have to clean our own neighborhoods up. The government is not going to do it, you know, or when he does it, he's going to do it when he want to do it. And so we have to be more dedicated to giving sound knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, sound advice to the young males, not telling them drink a 40, wear this, you know, saying this particular fashion, man, have you a few girls, that makes you a man, be able to fight. Nah, what makes you a man is working hard, educating yourself so that education can benefit you and benefit those you love. You're not on this planet by yourself, you know. Get that education so that you may benefit from it, that you may grow from it, that you may evolve from it, and then utilize the education to get in a job that you may help other people. And even if that's not your job, you still got an education to do something for someone else, right? So I'm going to talk about the gangs in my next one, in the prison system, because, you know, as the neighborhood started to fight, you know, out here, gang culture began to become a real reality in the Virginia system, a real reality. So where one time you might have had guys from Richmond, Creighton Court, Mosby, Church Hill, Jackson Ward, Hillside, Fulton, you know, DC, you were from Southeast, Northwest, Southwest, Northeast. You were from, you know, Montana Terrace, Edgewood Terrace. You know, you're from Saratoga, you from Parkland, Savannah, Bury Farms. You know, you from Woodland. You from all these neighborhoods. You from Southwest. You know, you from the Capers. You know, you from First Street. You know, you from Northwest, you from 640, you from Leroy Park, you from Surgeon Quarters, you from all over, Kennedy Street, you know, you from Fairmont, you know what I mean? So This is what we knew. New York, same thing. Bed-Stuy, all the neighborhoods. And so I can go on, but slowly but surely you had guys saying they were Bloods, saying they were Crip, saying they were GD. I'm a disciple. I'm a vice lord. You from California? Nah, you know, my neighborhood flamed up. My neighborhood blooded up. You know, my neighborhood loked up. You know, my neighborhood, man, we G'd up. And so that became a reality in prison. And guys weren't just neighborhood like you from, you know, Richmond, you from DC, you stay there, you stay there. Nah, they were incorporating guys from all over. So that became a reality. And there were gang wars. I mean, I remember one day, man, the Bloods and the Disciples got into it. There was a fight everywhere. There was a guy in the party, was the only disciple, man. He got jumped by the Bloods. Word got out. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 disciples was in the kitchen. They jumped on 2 Bloods, you know, and the police trying to lock that down. They didn't understand at the time it was a gang thing going on for like 2 hours. So guys on the rec yard yelling, you know, guys in the building yelling out, hey, it's on. It's popping. You know, that was a turn that the Bloods would say, man, it's popping. And they would say the language, and they had a language unto themselves. And so next thing you know, it's like 5 of them trying to get in the gate. CO, let me in the gate, let me in the gate. And the CO don't know what's going on. And so he like, nah, they like, nah, I got to use the bathroom. I got to use the bathroom. The CO, man, this man opened the gate. And them and some disciples clashed right in the breezeway, man. One disciple, man, big young guy, man, he was from Lynchburg, man. He picked up the CO and slammed him, boom. And they just flipping and rolling all on the floor. And then you hear lockdown because the whole prison going on lockdown because they know it's about to get way out of control. So, and I remember that because, you know, like I say, we were coming out the child hall. You see guys running and guys you deal with, they tossing it up. They in the kitchen, people slipping all on food, guys, and the majority of the prisoners moving out the way because they see what it is, right? So, you know, I'm gonna speak on a few of those the next time I speak, but I wanted to read this poem, and bear with me. It's called I'm a G, right? It says, I'm a G. That's what the youngin' said to me. Chest poked out, mouth slight snarl. He questions, you feel me? Nah. He says with wounded pride, man, I've been through it all. I came up in the hardest hood, no father figure, mom's on welfare, and that ain't half, dog. I've been in more fights than Mayweather, touched more drugs than CVS. His animated gestures were meant to stress his story, but I see the truth of the youth. He not a G, he a mess. Looking for approval and respect. And yes, I know he's been through a lot. He's been hungry, cold, and in plenty of fights, and even shot, so I listen. He says, these streets know my name. I'm gangsta out here. Sucker free for life, bruh, and clucking lames. He smiles at that mantra often spoken by those who hate clowns, yet reflect the same. Old head, believe me, it ain't easy being a G. Shoot, Scarface said it best. I'm the last of a dying breed. You see, he said stubbornly, all I need is 1,000 G's, a nice condo, a Lex, a range, and a top-notch chick will ride for me. And sadly, that's all he truly sees. He sounded so confident and certain that his plans were etched in stone of his misguided reality. But I listen because he needs the ear of honesty. Someone who understands him, and I'll show him how his fate won't be what he sees, because the fate of most G's have been in graves of penitentiaries, right? So I listen to the youngest. I watch them. I get angry. I get frustrated. I get disgusted because I watch the news and I see the results of this ignorance, this silliness, this madness, this clown behavior, this savage behavior. I see it. But I also know the root of it. You know, you don't have a father in the house. You don't have a mother, you know, who's really trying to do her best. Some are just content watching TV and yelling at the boy, go on outside, go play. She's on the phone talking to boyfriends and, you know, talking to her girlfriends about which guys she like. And the guys she like aren't corporate guys. They aren't guys who work every single day. They're guys that got the nice cars. They got little reputations, right? And this is a reality for many people, not for everybody that's watching this, but this is a reality. I'm not making excuses, but I am saying that probability is real. When you look at them clouds and they're dark and they're low and they're super gray, like real dark gray, probability dictates it's going to rain. That's probability. 95%, 98%, you know, that's probability. The probability is a reality. And so it's probable that when you don't have the right elements in your house, in your neighborhood, in your community to nurture a child, to let that child know he or she is loved, that they're appreciated, that they're valued. When you don't have that, you don't have a father hugging his son when he comes in after being in the fight and wiping his face and telling him it's okay. Let's go out here and find out what's going on. When you have a mother who has a boyfriend that come in, man, what's wrong with you? What you crying for? Man, look at me, wipe your face, man. What's wrong with you, man? Put your hands up when you got in a fight, but you better go back out there and fight again, you know? And then the child with a heavy heart, not wanting to be a fighter, not wanting to be in stuff. You don't even go out there and see what it look like. Could be 5, 6, 7 youngins he up against, older kids he up against, but you run them back out there. You got daughters, man, that you tell them they got to dress a certain way because they need to be cute. They need to have their makeup on. They need to have their hair done a certain way. We tell our babies this, man. We groom our babies to impress man, but not live by a better code of conduct. We're supposed to be telling our babies to do and be better than us and not be so hypocritical that we don't try ourselves to do and be better, you know, because they need an example. But we, because of our own fear, our own inadequacies, our own insecurities, we limit our children because we ourselves are limited, we feel limited, and we're going to stay limited. So we limit our children. We don't push them to be better. You don't want your child coming home talking about algebra because you barely know multiplication. You don't want your son coming home, man, all groomed and clean, neat, educated, because he may look at your lack of education and begin to look at you a certain way. So you tell him to go out there and do just enough, man, to get out of school, get a job and live, but you limit his vision. And so this is what we go through. So we producing gangsters and not gods. We're producing savages and not men and women. You see, we're producing hurt and anger and violence. We could be producing love, generosity, honesty, you know? So, you know, that's, like I said, that's my little take on it, man. I don't want to hold you long on this one. Again, I thank you all. I appreciate you all, truly. You know, check me out on my Facebook page. It's my name, Khalid Kareem. Check me out on Instagram, Khalid Kareem 75, you know. And, you know, you'll see my life. You'll see me working with the youth. You'll see me doing my best to add to the communities as best I can. And I want to do and be more. And if I can do and be more, and you're watching this, you're listening, and you can contribute somehow, let me know. Let me know, you know. So thank you all. Hope that you all have a good day. And I'll see you soon. Peace.